Bonjour everyone, welcome to another diecast showcase. Happy Friday. It's going to be a quick one today. Uh, Honestly, it's been extremely dry as mentioned in the last video. Not a whole lot of finds, and retail is, so to speak, a desert of diecast finds, so nothing much worth finding. They're restocking on old stock that it's already been through. We've already been through the main culprits. I've picked up what I wanted, and we're still stuck, be it mainline, be it premium. Not a whole lot to find. So hey, what do we do when we don't find anything new in retail when we're diecast collectors? Of course, we go towards the used market. So drop by a local thrift store and scored somewhat not bad. So thought I'd share with you guys a few of the finds that I managed to make via the thrift store in question. So we're talking about a couple bags of random miscellaneous Goodwill die casts. So probably half a dozen pieces that are either going to be sold forward for whatever's in good condition, and anything that's fantasy or really toy-like that's already been given to my daughter. So yeah, basically we're going to be checking out what I found. Probably like 10 cars, something like that, so not a whole lot. Shouldn't be a very long video. So we're going to start off with first piece here, which will be this Chevy Camaro Matchbox with the, as you can see, extremely rusty axles. Look, it still rolls extremely well and whatnot, just rusty axles, so I'm going to probably just touch up the wheels and hide the rust damage. A few flea bites here and there. All in all, it's not a casting I'm super not something I'm super excited about, but at the same time, I know specifically the silver Camaro like this was part of the Matchbox Action airport set. So kind of cool, to get a playset exclusive, in one of these bags. As usual, just like with the Ford equivalent, the Mustang convertible that I've got at least one, maybe two variants of. This is tampoed front and back, the important stuff. The infamous Matchbox 5 spokes with the once again, very rusty axles. Good cast details. I see Camaro license plate right there. And nice silver metallic paint with a medium gray interior. We've got mirrors. Yeah, tempo work in front's pretty decent as well. Not crazy, but pretty decent. So yeah, pretty good start to little finds video. Next up, something a little bit more unusual. This is not a casting that I'm super like. I don't collect all variations and whatnot, but this reminds me a lot of a Hot Wheels equivalent. We're talking about the Matchbox MBX limousine. Is that what that's called? Let's check it out here. Yeah, limousine, literally limousine. It really reminds me of the Hot Wheels limousine fantasy cast. With the stretch car, 4-door with the stretch in the middle. You've got the infamous Steelies in gold in this specific case, which is kind of cool. And the reason why I retained this casting, because I might use these wheels to actually just swap with another set of Steelies on a car that would look good with gold Steelies like this. But yeah, all in all, dark burgundy paint, some little gold accenting throughout. You can see the MBX Lux on this side. It's pretty decent looking casting, honestly. And I find it cool that all the details in regards to license plate, lights, front grille, they're all part of the base and they're kind of like intruded. So should be fairly easy to detail if I should want to. And look at this. Fantasy cast, and you got mirrors on this thing. So you got like the huge panoramic sunroof that's seemingly center open or center split sunroof, which gives you the access to the interior. You can see the L-shaped seating area, like a mini bar going on right here. And then you got the rear seats in the back, which are pretty much impossible to see, but I can confirm that they are definitely there. So all in all, pretty interesting casting. Not anything to cry home about, but not a bad thing. I do like the color as well, to be honest with you. So, all right, next up, let's check out the Matchbox here. This is Matchbox number 3. We've got the little Jeepster here in a seafoam green. Actually looks pretty good. This is a casting that's very overlooked. Remember when the kind of like dark burgundy metallic variation of this came out? It was a peg warmer for the longest of times. And I believe I have that one loose. But honestly, it's probably buried very deep somewhere behind the hauler that you see in the background here, the Datsun hauler. I've got a big pile of cars, and it's kind of like a salvage yard behind there with all kinds of weird little either battered up branded castings or lesser known or non-branded castings, things like that. And I believe there's the burgundy equivalent of this guy here, somewhere buried on the bottom. Until I figure it out, I will be keeping this one. I find the colors very period. And again, this casting has really good front and rear details. No mirrors on this one, but honestly, like in the 50s, mirrors were very optional. Same thing for the 60s, honestly. So, yeah, so you got the dog dish caps on black steelies on this one. You've got a kind of like a off-white / very light tan base. Kind of cool that the production code is actually printed on the fender there. Either way, very cool. So, lacking side details, those are really easy to add if one should be inclined to do so. Very cool. I love the way how the tampo is for the front lights. Actually looks really good. Very fine detail on the grille. And again, the back, same thing. Very well done. And got a little Willys license plate on there as well, which is really cool. The wheel on the back is exactly the same, minus the chrome in the middle. So that's really easy to detail as well to get it to match the other wheels. All in all, a fun casting. Some really cool American car there. Let's see, do I have any more Matchbox in here? Yeah, I do actually. Another Matchbox Jeep. This one would be an older variation. Not sure which year this came out. But we have a cool little two-door Cherokee. The pre-facelift version. I do have another variation of this and a kind of like a brown-based cast. Probably going to replace with this one, which I find better with the dark gray base. Very easy to detail as we're looking at an 80s body, so well, late 80s, early 90s body style. Tampo's a little bit worn, as is the chrome on the wheels, and it does have the hitch, which is intact, which is great. You can see maybe the Jeep logo that's actually cast into that tailgate, and yeah, Jeep logo on the side, driver's side fender there, the Cherokee on both doors. Oh yeah, the Jeep's there as well. Blade a little bit raced there. But yeah, all in all, it's cool casting, but I do prefer the older versions of this from Matchbox, and definitely prefer the Majorette version with the opening trunk. is more known for its yeah, it's police liveried version, which is super popular and what I used to have as a kid. All right, let's jump into some Hot Wheels. A couple Hot Wheels in here. One that's kind of weird and that I'm definitely gonna detail out a little bit. It's actually McDonald's casting. Look at this thing, guys. Like a COE. You know, not sure exactly. You know, it's fairly familiar if we're looking at the overall style. M2 and maybe Maisto in their hauler sets kind of do these kind of COEs. Definitely McDonald's cast. You can recognize that right away with the wheels. But yeah, it's got like plastic. Actually, is this metal? I think it's plastic, but it almost feels like metal. You got the yellow plastic additions there, and this actually, the boom on the back actually swivels. You got some really cool stacks here, and old school grill. It should be really easy to detail out with some silver. This is kind of like really cool. Like I'd see this with a hot rod pinned to the back, basically. I don't know. It's like an unusual one, and I've never seen this McDonald's cast before. I've got a couple of McDonald's casts that I like, a whole bunch that I picked up over time that I got rid of, and that one is just super cool. Other Matchbox that I managed to pick up is actually a variation of this yellow fox body that you can see right under that Datsun hauler. So that one is early 80s release on Hot Ones. Tamples are almost gone and whatnot. The one that I managed to pick up is actually, I believe, a color shifters. Get this into focus here. There we go. Yeah, color shifters on the black walls. Same exact cast. Look at this weird color, eh? It's kind of like a pinkish, lilac, purplish, grayish. Kind of like, I set to this color, I'm retiring, and that's it, that's all. But, you know, definitely see the four eyes. Black base on this one. Same as the one that is there in the background. We've also got the same red interior as well. Got a little remnants of a very 80s stylized side stripe. Got the rear lights that are part of the base as well. Or is it part of the window? In this case, it's part of the base. Yeah, this was shipped throughout, you know. But oh, and there's a little bit of a more remnant of that those groovy graphics from the 80s. Yeah, SVO Mustang. Is that what's written? Is that SVO? Oh, seemingly it's SVO. So it's got the 4 turbo instead of that 5.0 V8, the 302. Very cool. But yeah, another variation to that casting, which is kind of cool. Next up, we've got that was all the Hot Wheels. I'm gonna follow along with a majorette. It's a majorette that's very reminiscent of my childhood. Talking about this Bronco 2 in extremely good condition. Now, you're probably wondering what's going on with these completely blacked out windows a la Maisto Fresh Metal. Well, the reason is that this is actually a sonic flashers. So, when the battery was still working in there, you'd press either on the front or the left axle. By the way, as usual, majorette, sprung suspension. And you would get the little sound and light going on there with these little cherries on the top here. I was super excited. Another thrift store to find one of these in the Fire Chief livery, but ends up it wasn't a real majorette. It was actually just a Chinese knockoff. Now I have an actual majorette one, a blade, not the one that we'd want with the metal base and everything like that. These are plastic base because basically cut down on costs. You sacrifice somewhere. You get the lights and sound. Well, you don't get the metal base, but. All in all, the cast is pretty much the same. No interior either, because then you'd see the wiring and all that good stuff inside. But yeah, there you go. So Bronco 2, Ford Bronco 2. Put it next to the relatively same era Mustang here. And the last 1/64 scale that I managed to scurry from this little bag of goods, or should I say 2 bags of goods, is a real toy. Real toy E46 BMW 3 Series. Now, Real Toy makes decently detailed models. As you can see, front is done. The BMW 3 Series in lieu of the Euro license plate, the BMW logo, the kidneys are done, front lights are done, fog lights are not, but that's no big deal. And it's actually got a BC Ferries livery. So BC is British Columbia, which is the westernmost province of Canada. And since we example the BC Ferries, well, they would run example from Vancouver to the island of Victoria. That's right off the coast of Vancouver, the province capital of BC. So, you know, to and fro. BC Ferries is pretty big. Here's your rear details with the lights. Again, BMW logo, BMW 3 Series license plate. There's no indication if this is a 325, 323, 330. Who knows? And it's obviously got side mirrors, left-hand drive, closed window, dark gray interior with the white paint and pinstriping. And here is your base 1/59th scale. So that's cool. Real Toy, I really do enjoy their castings. They make really cool castings that other diecast manufacturers do not make. We will finish off this showcase with some 1/43rd scale cars that were actually also in these couple bags that I picked up. First and foremost, something a little bit more vintage. This is the stuff from my childhood, a Burago Porsche 928, based on the body details such as rear lights, front lights as well. This would be a very late model, probably early to mid 90s, probably a GTS based on the wing as well. So the last and greatest V8 powered front engined rear wheel drive Porsches, also available in manual until the very end of production, which is awesome. Last one's did get 0 to 60 times in about 5 seconds, 300 and almost 50 horsepower. This car was heavy at the time, but based on today's standards, ooh, and that Porsche logo has shifted quite a little bit, I just noticed. Lens headlights. Shout out to David at Twice Diecast. Yeah. Infamous Burago wheels. Kind of work on this one. Kind of remind me of a very, very, very simplified version of the Urban Outlaw wheels. Magnus Walker developed, if we're talking about the styling of them. So yeah, gray interior, same green paint as the Ferrari 308 race car that I also have in much better condition than this one. This one is chipped up. Make a great repaint though, especially these Buragos and 143rd. These the pre Street Fighter cars, they are not very detailed. So if we're talking about the bodies, either they have a lot of imaginary rally / race sponsors, or they end up like this, no details whatsoever except for the applique of that Porsche logo on the front. So yeah, but it's a nice one nevertheless, very old school. And last, definitely not least, something I was extremely surprised to find, and I didn't even pick up the bag for this had I not known that this was what it is. The unloved Porsche 911 Generation 996, first water cooled. It is missing the mirrors, but guys, this is, you probably noticed this is much higher quality than the Burago that's right below it. Reason being, this is actually a Mini Champs, a thrift store find Mini Champs So Porsche 911 996.2 facelifted with the rounded lower front lights. The Carrera, probably Carrera 2, based on the details I see on the lower part here. Doesn't seem to be any sign of a drive shaft or anything like that to make it a Carrera 4. I mean, everything's detailed on here. Probably hard to see, but even these little side indicators, they are a different shade of silver versus the rest. Front and rear lens lights, separate wipers, both front and back. These are not just molded into the windscreen. As mentioned, missing mirrors, black interior, silver exterior, gray color combo. And these are like the optional wheels that were available on this model at the time that were kind of like a downsized GT3 design wheel for the LCI version of this car. So, I mean, the details are all there. You can see the metal sunroof, the closed position. And actually, this one should have one too. But, you know, we're talking about different price points. These are normally at release about $30 to $40, and these are more like maybe $8. So, you know, it's kind of like comparing a Hot Wheels Premium with the, I don't know, like Atomica Limited Vintage Neo. It just doesn't make sense. You know, this is TLV and this is HWP, so it just doesn't make sense to compare exactly both. I mean, look at this. They even blacked out the inside of the tailpipes, which is something I always do on loose cars that I add to the collection. So there you have it, folks. Not perfect, but definitely a pretty cool little haul. So tell me what you think. Which one's your favorite in these? You know, are there any of these that you guys actually have in your collection? Leave a comment below, and if you like the video, hit that thumbs up, and of course subscribe to be advised of future uploads on my behalf, which normally happens every Friday. And on that, I will wish you happy hunting, stay safe, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye bye.